Okay, welcome to an exciting episode of the energy that surrounds us. Brand new show for a brand new year, 2023. And as always, I am joined by my awesome co host, media extraordinaire, and creator of that very awesome intro that was just premiered, Carla.
Hi, everyone.
So, are you excited for tonight, Carla?
I am, but I know that we're going to be doing a lot of tweaking on that intro.
It's always fun when it's live because you never know what's going to happen.
There was no sound.
Oh, I heard sound.
I
Nope.
didn't hear any sound.
Nope. You muted us, so we didn't get to hear anything.
It
Wow.
looked good.
It did look good, except for the thing is the banner at on the bottom blocks the words.
Well, and the funny thing is the intro went 5, 4. Hey, we're into the show.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, I don't know why it did
It'll be some tweaking. We need to make it to where it goes full screen.
I
It's
think
practice.
I think for that
yeah,
it needs
for sure.
an MP4 format. But
it'll be cool next week.
Yep. So, as I mentioned, we are a brand new show this year, so you'll want to stay tuned because we will be having guests of different natures joining us. They could be UFO people, they could be cryptid hunters, could be people who specialize in investigation or equipment, so you never know. You'll want to stay tuned. And you never know, we may even do some showcasing of investigations.
Mm-hmm. And techniques.
Yep.
Some psychics.
So
That's
we're planning.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we're playing a fun, really in-depth look into some stuff with our show this year. So you'll want to stay tuned. And we decided what better way to start the new year as well than to have the awesome and amazing Paula, Ryan, and Faith Rodriguez, a family that investigates together.
We do. Faith's usually with us most of the time. Occasionally, depending on the location, we may not take her.
Understood.
It just depends.
Yeah.
The private investigation that we did send you the video on, she definitely did not go with us on that. If we feel it's something that's just not going to be a good energy or a good space for her to be in, then we won't bring her.
Yeah, completely understand that.
Totally understand and totally respect that, because a lot of people always were shy away from having their kids on investigations when chances are they could benefit from being on there because it's something they're experiencing and
Right.
may help them understand it instead of hiding it from them.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. She doesn't seem to be, she's not really scared often. And that's one of the things that I love about it. It teaches her just to see different aspects of it and just to understand it a little bit. I mean, of course,
Yes.
we're always looking out and trying to understand ourselves. But I think having her along with us and experiencing what we're experiencing, she knows it's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing, for sure. She's had some experience of her own.
Yeah. So before I ask this one question, I wanted to point out Ghost Geeks. That's Chad Wendell.
Mm-hmm.
He is in the chat group, and he said hello to everyone, and he says love family teams. He also investigates with his family, so
I think that's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
So
it's definitely different.
I was going to ask Faith, have you ever wanted to go to a location and your parents said no, and you get like in a fit or upset?
Honestly, no. It's just whatever they come up with, I'm always down to go.
Excellent.
Wow.
Got a good level of maturity there.
Well, I think the Brown Canyon Ranch
Yeah.
She didn't want to go back after going the first time. The things that we experienced our first investigation was pretty intense, actually.
Mhm.
We all kind of got a little startled in our first video. We actually heard a man, like if he was in pain, screaming towards the back of the property. Of course, we didn't know what that was, but it was
Sure.
so loud, and it definitely startled her. Started all of us, but after that, she just did not want to go back.
Understand that.
So when you say the back of the property, was it inside a building or was it on like open land?
Open land.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, we're inside the building. When we went towards the back of the building, it was then we were in the very back room is when we can hear it coming from the outside.
Wow.
But the location, there's nothing around it. So it was something that definitely startled us because we know we heard it. Our video actually picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we really knew that it wasn't just us hearing it. We actually caught it on our video and our EVP recorder as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's when, of course, we wanted to go back, but we just didn't want to leave her.
Yeah.
And of course, her first words when we left is, "I think I've retired."
Why not? Leave on a high note.
So tell us, Paula, for the viewers, where you guys are located and the locations that you've been going to, like the ranch, where they're located.
We are just about 20 miles out from Tombstone, Arizona. So we live in a city, well, it's not quite a city, I guess the town of Sierra Vista, Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, of course, there's a lot of locations around us. With it being Cochise County in itself, there's a lot of activity here. We haven't even touched half the places that we want to go to.
Excellent.
We've got Bisbee, which is another direction, about 20 miles. Of course, Tombstone, we love Tombstone, is what brought us here. So we've been to the birdcage many times. We've been to the courthouse a few times. We've gotten some pretty interesting things from both locations. As a matter of fact, the birdcage is where Ryan found and saw his very first shadow. I don't know if you call it a shadow person or.
You want to talk about that, Ryan?
Yeah, sure. So we're actually doing the public investigation. We paid for our tickets and went to go do it. And I was watching a YouTube video, and Billy, the owner, said he likes to sit in a certain spot because that's where he sees the most. So, of course, I wanted to sit there. And it's right next to the butcher block where you're backstage, but you can look downstairs and you can see, I guess where you first come into the birdcage.
Yeah.
So there's a lady sitting next to me, but kind of catty corner from me, where she was facing the back of the
Black Mariah.
Yeah, the Black Mariah. And they had complete lights out. It was dark, and I saw something darker than dark walking up those steps. And at first, it startled me. I kind of jumped in my seat a little bit. And as soon as that happened, a lady said something just grabbed her left shoulder. And I watched that walk up those steps.
Wow.
I knew something startled him because I felt him like really jolt in the chair. And I asked him, are you okay? And then he just kind of leaned over and he says, "I swear, I just seen a shadow of a person walking up those stairs." As that lady across from him said that somebody just touched her shoulder in the same location.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Of course, we didn't get that on video, but it was still an experience that, there's lots of times where we go and investigate and we don't create videos. It's something that we just do as a family or just a passion itself, that we go out and look for evidence or answers. So It's not something that we have to share all the time. We don't do it just to create videos. But it's awesome when we get to meet people to where we can actually share our experiences.
Absolutely.
But
we sure appreciate it.
We've got a lot of pictures. So we've been very, very fortunate on that.
Yeah. One of our guests in the comment section, Linda Judd, wants to know, did you get to meet the owner of the birdcage?
Billy, yes.
So that's his son, though.
Yeah, well, there's a Billy Jr. and then Billy,
Yeah,
yes.
we didn't get to meet.
No. I believe Senior just passed away last January. So we did get to meet him, but we did meet Billy Jr. We actually have some photos with Billy. Oh,
Well, our condolences to his family.
yes. We have some friends of ours who actually was very close to the owner, Billy Jr. And after his passing, they actually went to the birdcage. And I can't even explain that. The experience that they were able to show us what they captured. It's one of the lights that's on the outside of the building. They actually carried on a full conversation with the light and the way it was responding. It would flicker.
Oh, wow.
It would flicker in response to certain, times.
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to see yes or no question with a pretty interaction happen.
Wow. So Chad wants to know, I'd love to know about your family dynamics. Do you feel like you each have a role you prefer to take in an investigation? And he also says he'd love to know the Tamil. Oh, I think he was trying to say
He was
Tamil,
just correcting
Tamil,
the typo.
Tamil.
Yeah.
So, well, I definitely have to say I'm the sensitive one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, of course, just takes charge of everything. He runs most of the equipment. And Faith just kind of, especially if there's a child being known there,
Mm-hmm.
she'll try to see if she can get the child to play with her. Of course, she's pretty careful, but she gets excited when she hears that there might be a child spirit that's in that space. Birdcage is one of them. The young boy Joshy, he's very well known there, especially people that go to visit the birdcage, and he interacts with her. So as far as a role, I think we just do everything as whatever the space allows us to feel. But myself, I would definitely say I could tell if there's, I don't know, I could get very emotional in certain spaces.
I understand that.
For sure.
Yeah.
So a question I'm sure is going to come up in the chat group, I have a feeling is coming. I'm going to just ask it now up front. So what's your favorite equipment to use and why?
I personally like the SLS, the flare camera. Personally,
Mm-hmm.
SLS, I mean, it's just cool, being able to see certain things. And going back to the Brown Camp Ranch, when we heard footsteps running on wood, we caught this on the SLS an apparition going up the door in the attic. And at first we thought it was outside, but once going outside, there's no wood outside. The only wood out there was in the attic. And that's when we realized that we caught that going up in the attic. It started with us enough to where we all kind of split and locked the doors, and we thought someone was trying to get into the house.
Yeah.
That was a little scary. Faith would have been terrified. Us adults that were there was 4 of us, and we went into full-blown panic because we could hear these heavy footsteps, not just a pacing, but running back and forth to where it appeared to be outside. Yes, stomping outside the front of the building. So, it's 10 o'clock at night. It's dark outside. Nobody lives around. So, of course, our instincts were, I don't know, maybe illegal or somebody just trying to get
Sure.
into.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hear you.
So our instincts were to turn off all the flashlights and get to the doors and make sure that they're locked. We waited it out maybe 5-10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hear anything anymore. So we kind of just gradually opened up the front door to look out and see if we can see anything. It was then when we all walked outside with our flashlights and couldn't see anything. And then that's when we realized, as Ryan made a comment, he says, this isn't even wood, this is concrete. There's no way this dot beam came from out here. So we don't know what it was.
Oh.
Wow.
We captured it on video. We captured it on our EVP.
And this is at the ranch?
Yes.
Wow.
Is that on the video that you sent us, or is that something else?
No, it's on the video we sent you.
Wow.
There's part of the video where if you look at it, you can see all of us just kind of look at each other as you're hearing it.
Sure.
And then we just go to a panic on lock the doors, lock the doors. What is that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to segment to the video? In which case, we have the full video you sent. So do you want to introduce it?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You'll have to excuse me. I've been really hoarse. So it's the Brown Canyon Ranch, which is up Ramsey Road here in Sierra Vista. It is open to the public until 10 p.m. at night. There's like a small parking fee. I think it's like $5 or $7 for the day, or I think $10 or $15 for a whole entire week. So the video, it's going to show, I believe, towards the end. Yeah, about a half an hour, 40 minutes towards the end. I don't know the exact time frame. That's the only problem.
All right. Well, as you said, here we go.
We have some friends here with us this weekend. They just want to come and say hi. Can you let us know if you're here with us?
At the bottom of the table, you'll see a light anomaly shoot up that looks like a string.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah, we got a lot of those there.
Was that the same one
Well,
over and over, or was
another
it like
light
3 or
anomaly
4?
manifest from the table
Um,
behind my back.
Hey, that one right there, he just
Oh, there goes that one.
whoa.
Well, the other one I had was really sensitive, so somebody could walk in front of it or touch it, and he would quack. But this one, I'm touching it, and he's not doing anything. But like
It's the light.
the light, yeah. So that's not gonna work.
and that would
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
I just know with the lights on, we're going to be getting lots of bugs in here, but we're all okay with that.
Another light anomaly comes from the window directly behind me, swoops around my back, and then goes up.
We were friends with Bill,
Saw that.
the owner of the birdcage, and he passed away.
In the beginning of that,
So I
it shows like a
I
model.
don't know. We
That's
asked.
mine.
There's 2 more light anomalies that manifest.
So did you hear the
One coming
sigh,
from
or
the
do you
ceiling
found
that
that
swoops around my
later?
back,
No, we
and
found that.
another one manifesting above the table, coming towards my back. Could this be the Haverty brothers? Maybe Richard or Jim?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the SLS to go to again. It takes a minute or two.
So this goes, I like this app, it's kind of cool, because it has all this different stuff, it has a motion detector, and I tried it at my client's house, so when you move and
This-
stuff,
Doesn't even do anything.
it'll do that, if something moves in front of it.
That's
See? So if you move towards it, or touch it, it'll do that.
so the light.
That's cool.
What up?
Is
It has the,
I don't know.
has the
And
LED
with-
thing,
with- Recorder.
where you can record it, and it has EMF,
Oh, okay.
Oi.
Everything's turned down. I should have plenty of power. I should have plenty of power. I should have plenty of power. So let's get going.
We're not sure exactly what that.
so that actually has all of it, that's got everything all together, the
The EMF
everything.
field.
Yeah, it's got.
Is he right there by the door?
Yeah, he's like on the door.
This is
Big
that.
one.
that right?
Oh,
You
oh,
know,
go ahead.
So is that,
Uh-huh.
thing supposed to be lit up?
It's like
at night or
6
something?
feet tall at least.
Is that you, Richard?
Is supposed to be lit, is it supposed to be lit up? Okay.
I'm still tripping out on that light. I've never seen that light work before, dude.
Can you make a noise for us, Richard, if that's you? We see you standing by the door. That thing's massive.
It's really tall.
I think this is where it starts
Is
to
it
go
going
up.
up the ceiling? It's on the ceiling. What?
Jeez.
What is it?
What, do you hear something?
What's that?
Please tell me you don't hear that up there, though.
I do. That's what I said. It's like it's up there. Oh, but that's up on the ceiling too. It's showing 6 feet on the ceiling.
Are you in the attic?
Hands around it.
Yeah. You can see a little bit up in the kitchen.
Oh, damn. That'd be something to see. Check it out.
Yeah, that thing's crazy.
Now that it's quiet in here, can you make those lights go off?
It's gone. It just disappeared.
It might be some kind of moth, I don't know.
It looked like a moth.
Mm-hmm. It's the big one. Yeah, it's a moth.
We had a,
If,
you can't really see it, but we did have a cat ball
There
The
it goes.
flashlight just
outside
came
the
on?
door, and it kept
Oh,
going
wow.
off.
the REM pod.
Oh, so that
Oh, wow.
flashlight, was it on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So whoever's next to that light,
So Joshua says there
you
is
can
a
see
dark
you're setting
energy
off.
on there, and it's a male. He
Can
really
you get
wants
a
to
little
hurt the
closer
female.
to it and make noise?
That makes a lot of sense. We've actually been told that by a couple
You
of
get a little
people.
bit closer and it'll change colors.
And Linda is asking, was there a door or window open to the house?
Just that door right there was open. But that was it.
Okay, it's the ring. Oh,
Oh, there it goes. What's that?
that's the
It's
ring
the
pod.
pod.
That's what it sounds
So
like.
the
Yeah.
photo
Oh, I
that
thought it was
I shoot
loud.
where
I
it looks
thought
like
maybe-
you could see a male
So it's
outside
going
a kitchen
Can
window,
you step away from that now?
that came from this location.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Make it change colors again.
We didn't
Go
find it.
up.
We're going
There's
for
some
foot.
kind of funky looking bug across the floor.
Well, thank you. You get a little bit closer, it'll actually start changing colors.
And this is
Can you
also
step
the
a little
location
closer to it?
heard
What the heck is
the name.
Yeah, we got the name Beelzebub here.
Oh, the bee.
Where is that?
I don't know. I was just doing an EVP and that's what
Yeah, Paula, I remember you and I talking about this.
Sounds weird.
That's the location right there.
Wow.
Well, it came in reverse, so when we got the footage, we played everything, in reverse, and what it said was just phenomenal.
Or so, like if there was a party going on.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like, huh?
Okay, so what is that duck?
Where?
So
Oh, really? It's supposed to be like a motion sensor.
yeah.
Okay. Because I keep looking for the duck in the room going, what? Why is there a duck in the
Oh, it
room?
could be Indian Channing.
She had it in the windowsill.
Maybe.
Okay.
Don't know what kind of.
Where'd you get that?
She just pushed
I just
recorder and
recorded.
everything AVP. That's what
Here.
she picked up here right
I
now.
know.
Joshua
Sounds like a big
Dixon
party
says,
going on.
be very careful in that
I mean,
location
I don't even hear
Oh, I
y'all.
wasn't
by
there.
yourself.
Huh?
I don't even hear
We've also been told that, so we honestly haven't been back. Okay, so the footsteps are going to be just a little bit after this.
That's just a little afraid to maybe come out a little bit. Is there anybody in here with us tonight?
Linda's asking, did your pup react to anything?
She wasn't
Now
with
it's
them.
going counter. Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that.
That's
Ruby was.
No,
yeah.
that's counterclockwise.
Was she at that?
Yeah, Pam brought Ruby. Yeah. So that was Pam's dog,
See?
and I don't believe that she reacted to anything there.
Look at that. Look at how much that's moving.
Is your name Richard?
Let me see. Is this Richard?
So I gotta say, that's the first time I've seen someone use their hand to stop the pendulum. I've always just taught you let it stop on its own and then ask the next question.
Yeah, I usually try to stop it.
Look at that. It's awesome. Is that you that we saw on that SLS?
I have to say, you guys are so composed with all those bugs around. Here in Texas, we're like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
That looks like a yes. It's coming.
Yeah, there it goes. Are there any ladies in here tonight with us?
Ozzy.
Oh, something just got heard.
That's when we went into a panic.
What is that?
I don't know.
There's something running around outside.
There's the duck.
Yep, there's the duck.
Oh my gosh.
What is that?
I don't know. Something's running around outside on the patios.
Yeah,
Heard
right.
it? Huh? You heard it? It was still going.
Hello?
Joshua Dixon says, I know nothing about this property, but an evil exists.
Yeah. We've refused to kind of go back again. For now. We've been told that by a couple people.
Oh my
This
gosh.
location has probably been the very first one in a while that I can say I got scared at.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable feeling for sure. Ryan got a feeling of being constantly watched. He usually doesn't get antsy on investigations, but this location here, both times, he just was completely antsy. He kept walking to all the windows, like, who's watching me? What's outside? What's going on? Why am I feeling this way? So that was unusual.
Pacing back and forth.
Did you hear that?
I'll be honest, like, you have piqued my interest. It's like, part of me wants to go there, with that part of me
Exactly.
I don't want to deal with what's there.
Okay, so see that window right there, the flashlight's on?
Yeah.
Right?
That's the exact same window that picture that I sent you. It shows a man peering in from outside.
Yes, and
Oh,
I had
yeah.
those queued up. We can look at those after this.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one trips me out. I was looking at that because it almost looks like he's in skeleton form, even.
Yeah.
Did we miss the footsteps?
it's hard. It's kind of hard to hear it on this one.
Nope.
Our
They
EVP
got
recorded
me about the boo boo
up
though.
a little bit better, and we
Yeah,
did
that's a
put
trip.
that in there.
Something was definitely
You
wrong
kind of
with
see it
the
more,
windows.
But
but
it was
that
on
we
this
heard
from the
that
front patio.
still trying to figure it out where it's from.
And I'd imagine if it was like somebody from
So
like maybe the flashlight.
on and what it was.
They got me nervous.
I'm very nervous.
Yeah. To me, I think that's what gets some paranormal investigators in trouble is we hear footsteps, we run towards them.
Yeah,
Are you recording? Did you
we
get
don't
that?
run away.
No. Well, we do when we're reaching our limits, but
Yeah.
Woo.
I'm still shaking. Like I don't understand. We didn't see nobody go by the windows. Like
It's dark out
at least
there,
3
though.
times, right?
Oh shit. It could have been deer that got up there.
Oh yeah, maybe.
okay, so Linda is asking was the
Would
duck
we have
tech
seen it?
on the
Like
porch?
go by the windows?
And I believe I remember you saying it was on a windowsill, actually.
Yes, it was on a windowsill at the door.
Oh my goodness.
So as far as any other EVPs, we didn't really include too much, just because it's so much editing.
Yeah.
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 After this is mainly just kind of the
I
spirit
really
box.
been afraid faith.
Spirit box rescue. Spirit box rescue is where we got the years above and all that.
Well, we can show it if you guys want, or if you want, we can switch over to the photos.
Yeah, you can switch over to the
What did you do with the
Okay.
battery?
Okay.
It's over there.
All right.
Window.
So.
Yeah, that place though is it's beautiful during the day. At night, it's
Not so much.
story. But I definitely recommend if anybody ever wants to come to this location and visit, Tombstone's not the only place to go. So I definitely recommend to go to Brown Canyon.
Okay. So I'm thinking some of these may have gotten bumped out of order. So I'll try and keep them paired up as I believe that's how you had them.
It'll go by your titles. Usually.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm the photo person. Ryan's pretty much the tech guy when it comes to the cameras, but as far as the videos, but I'm the one that does the EVP recordings and review them and clip them, and then I'm the one that takes all the photos and then goes over the photos to see if we've captured it.
Got it.
Okay, so bear with me. I'll try and see if I can't. So,
Okay.
Yes, Joshua. They're in Arizona.
So on this one here, Michael, this is actually the one that you would have wanted to show after. There's 2 photos to this one.
this
There-
one.
So that very first photo, this is actually in Vulture City, Arizona. We went to a Paracon just this past year. So this is a demonologist. He's actually in the church and he's reading one of the scriptures. I don't know if there's a way you can zoom up, but you can zoom at his face. There's nothing blocking his face. He's perfectly clear. So
Yep.
I take my pictures in seconds. My next photo is basically within a half a second. The next photo is what we captured, something pretty interesting.
Okay, let me zoom back out so I can get back to that photo.
There you go. So if you zoom in on that, you can tell it's not a person shadow. There's some
No.
type of a tall, 6 foot maybe shadow.
Yes.
But if you zoom into his face is completely blurred out now. It's not even visible, as if it's gone.
You're right.
It is blurred out, and I will say what's interesting to me is my first thought when you said this is a church, I thought of like the cardinal with that tall hat that they wear.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like. It looks like that or a cowboy hat.
Well, what's interesting is when we first entered the church and they were talking about what presence is usually seen in this, they usually say it's a 6-foot shadow that's usually seen in the corners. So when we captured this, we thought it was pretty interesting that it kind of fit what they say is usually seen in there.
And I was picking this up on the SLS at the time too.
Yes.
That's crazy.
I wonder if y'all can see what I'm seeing is right here's an eye, here's a nose,
Yeah. I see
there's
it.
a mouth,
Oh,
and
wow.
there's a rim of a hat. So
Yep.
it very well
That's
is a cowboy.
See, we didn't even really see that.
But yeah, if you
Wow.
there's clearly an eye there and a nose there.
Wow, it sure is.
Maybe a mustache.
Yeah, right there.
Oops.
It looks like it's facing you.
Yeah, that's pretty
If
interesting.
you zoomed in,
Yeah.
it looks like it's looking right at the camera. I see the 2 eyes, the nose, the mustache.
So it could be 2 spirits in one.
Because like right where your hand is, you're right to the right of the nose.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
you're moving your hand, so
Sorry, I was pointing out here's it looks like the nose right here.
no, to
No?
the left a little bit. Well, yeah, right there. You're on top of the nose. Eyes are on either side above it. And then there's a mustache below. And it looks like possibly a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so of course we were really excited about this one. And of course we try to debunk things as much as we can.
Sure.
But then when we don't have any answers, we just assume, hey, we just got lucky and captured something.
So where is this location in regards to the ranch?
So this picture is actually in Wickenburg, Arizona.
Oh, so it's up north.
Yeah, so it's what, like 3 hours away from here?
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
All
Yeah.
right.
And it's actually Vulture City Ghost Town.
Okay.
Within Wickenburg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to drive through there on the way to Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
This is Paracon that we went to in October.
Yeah. So this was just recent.
Wow. That's crazy.
And this Paracon was absolutely phenomenal. The people there and just having all the paranormal family together was just absolutely remarkable.
Excellent.
Okay. So this one here, this is the, zoom in a little bit, Michael. Okay, so this is the first picture, so that's good. That's like a book casing. It's obviously reflecting some of the people that are just sitting there in the pews.
Yeah. So if you move your hand over to the left, where the light's showing on that book casing, to the left.
Right here, that red?
Yeah, see that right there? In the next picture, look in that same spot.
All right. Oh, wow, the red moved.
But look, it looks like a beak now.
Yeah, it looks like a big, large beak.
It does.
So when we were showing people they're saying it possibly could be a skinwalker, that they've had actually pictures like this there. But we couldn't explain that.
Yeah, we couldn't explain that at all.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, you guys caught something else too.
Is that a face?
That is a face looking
Yeah.
right at you.
It looks like a skeleton.
Yeah, it looks like
It
a
does.
skeleton.
Looks like a skull.
That's clear.
Wow.
And the weird thing is if you take it in proportion, it looks like here's its back, the arms going down, and the hand is holding whatever that red light is.
Wow.
And so it looks like he's there.
Is it like it's kind of hunched?
Yeah. It's like he's trying to fit into this.
Yeah, exactly.
I never even noticed that.
Oh, that's a trap. Don't you love it?
Yeah, and then if you look here, it's like somehow that it's like his head is leaning forward because it's in front of the board, not on the board like you might first think.
Wow.
I wonder if there's a history of like people being kept there or trapped.
I don't know if I recall anything. I mean, we've been to Vulture City a couple of times. I know they say it's very active. They're still moving buildings that have not been entered in many years, decades, from the mining spaces, and then they're making them safe to enter. So, I mean, there's constant change and a lot of activity going on there. So it's hard to say.
Yeah. It's kind of funny looking at the image this way. It looks like this guy over here might have seen it because it looks like his mouth is like open, like.
I think one of us made that comment at one point. Yeah, so those two photos right there were actually taken at Vulture City. They're in Wickenburg.
Okay. Now, do you want to go to the window or to the wood frame?
You could do the wood frame. Huh?
All right. Is it this one the first one?
Yes, because that one
Oh,
was
this is the
the
window.
original photo. The next photo you see is where I kind of zoomed in already. So what this photo is it's a location in Tombstone, Arizona. It is the original Pete Spence house. It's a friend of ours. She owns the home now, but she turned it into a flower shop, a gift shop. It's Friendly Flowers and More. It's a beautiful shop. She sells all sorts of stuff there, but it is active shop. And she has actually started to work with us as far as private and public investigations. So people that are interested in wanting to go to the home, we basically take them into the home and investigate with them. And this photo was taken from one of her windows.
So I'm assuming this is like the line of like the hills or mountains in the background, and this is the stars in the sky.
Those are stars in the sky, but it's just some buildings that are across the way. There's no mountains view from that window.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to figure out the difference between the really dark and the sky.
Yeah, that I'm not too sure what that was. And the next photo you'll be able to see, we still can't figure out if it's a cowboy or.
Yeah, I gotta stand by. This really does look skeletal. So there is nothing, no clothing or anything that I think could identify.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell, but there was nobody outside that window when we were investigating. So we could not figure out what this was, who this was. It was just an image that we happened to capture.
You know, I'm gonna throw this out there. Everybody don't blast me for this, but it almost looks like an alien face.
Oh, a big head.
Well, not necessarily the big head, but the way the eyes are so rounded.
Yeah.
Like either wearing glasses or it's got large eyes, which is not normal for a human.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. Of course, everybody's going to see something different. When I first saw the photo, I honestly thought it looked like either a cowboy or a sheriff from back in the day. And I found that it was strange that I thought that because the fact that this location, the Pete Spence house, Sheriff Behan was involved, I think, with this whole thing. Pete Spence, I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he was actually the gentleman who plotted the shooting of Morgan Earp, the Earp brothers. And in this exact same room is where the plotting all started.
You know, taking that into account, it's funny, like we were saying, it's how you look. This could be a jacket.
That's what I saw. And it almost looks, if you zoom in on the face, it almost looks like the old Western looking mustaches.
It does. It's really bushy. And the other thing I was picking up and noticing is down here, it looks like belt buckle or a design
Right.
like you would see on a belt buckle.
Yeah, Faith said a holster.
You know, if you look at it this angle, that could be the trigger that they would pull back and the handle right there.
Right.
And there were some lawmen and gunmen who wore it on the front, so that wouldn't be putting it out. That'd probably make it even more so.
Right. So what we did, because across the street from the Pete Spence house and there's the shop here is Wyatt Earp's, well, they call it Wyatt Earp's house. And there's a very large statue of Wyatt Earp out in the front of the house. So we were really trying to, of course, debunk this to figure out, is there a way that that statue could have reflected from across the street onto the window? There's no way. It doesn't line up to the window. And not only that, but the position of the statue is not only a lot higher, but the arms are not even the same position. The arms are actually up holding a rifle. These arms, as you can see, are down.
Right. And I would say the other thing that would make me discount being a statue is this looks more like unposed and just like peeking around a corner than a statue which is posed and would have a non-organic look to it.
Right. So this location, again, we don't really have a lot of videos of it. We just kind of do it for our own selves, or when people want to have a private investigation. We've had a few in there already. The most recent one we've done, oh, okay, so this one here is the Brown Ranch.
I can go back if you were...
Oh, no, it's okay. So there's two photos they sent on this one. One's a little bit clearer. But again, there's a gentleman, there's something peeking in from the outside that kitchen window.
Right here.
Yep. It almost looks, if you go down, it almost looks like an arm as well. As if he's leaning on the window and he's peering in. Yeah, like right there.
Is it the Brown Canyon?
Yeah, this is the Brown Canyon.
I think that there's a woman in that one too, though. Remember I was showing you to the right of it?
Oh, that's right. Ryan did point out he thinks that there's a woman standing right next to that gentleman's face.
Right in here?
Yes.
It does look, I can't zoom in too close. It does look like a face right here.
This possibly you might be able to see it clearer in the next one. I'm not too sure. I sent two, so I'm not too sure which one was. So his face is a lot clearer there. But when I saw this photo, I got excited, but yet I panicked at the same time. Because I don't think we've ever caught anything that clear. It almost looks like he's smiling and he's smirking to me. It's kind of creepy.
It is actually a little bit. So was there something here that had that shape?
I don't think there was much on the countertops. They had a couple things just for like decoration.
Because I'm like looking at it and it looks like it's the outline of a person.
Right. It was on the table, honey.
And then I'm thinking, is that something metallic that was on the table?
Yeah, I believe it might have been a bottle or something.
But that is wild. And then, did she get an orb over here, or is that a spot on the window?
That is a good question. That I did not see. When I found this one, I was just so focused on trying to figure out the features of the face. But again, that's where Ryan thought he had seen something next to that face as well.
I don't know why, but something is drawing my attention to this part. I don't know if there's anything there, but it's just something is like, I keep looking at it like I should be seeing something, but I'm not. I'm thinking it's this. Is there something there that's different color than all the rest?
Right.
And it seems to be coming from his head. So I don't know if that's part of him or a different mass or just stain on the wall or
Right.
window.
Yeah, that one
could be
was.
outside. Maybe that's what we're seeing.
It could be. But the thing is we never saw anything the whole time we were there. This was something that I did not see until after we were reviewing everything. And the funny thing is the very first time Faith went with us, she thought she loved it. She thought it was very interesting, and she didn't seem to be uncomfortable or scared until the scream. But the second time when we went back during the day, she kind of got sick instantly. She got a really bad headache. She was feeling sick to her stomach. So she was only there, maybe 10 minutes. And then we left. We took her to a friend's house. So that was kind of strange that she experienced that the second time.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some of our experiences and some of the footage that we've gotten. We get excited when we catch something. We don't always put it on our Facebook page, or it's just kind of more us just to share for people that we talk to, or just have for our own experiences.
So everyone in the chat room, sorry I couldn't see the chat room because I was focused on the picture. So Linda, I apologize that I didn't see you wanting to see the person sitting again. And Joshua says, sadly, I believe the man to the left has crossed. I'm thinking he's talking about the one image of the man that had his mouth open, we thought, in shock.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my gosh.
Had what?
Linda says a couple of the people look crossed. Joshua says incredible evidence. Sean says I thought it looked like a jacket also. Oh, hey, Maddie. Joshua says he's picking up a baby girl. Yes, he's the sinister one behind the picture. That's the girl.
Oh, wow.
So
okay, so I'm not gonna sorry. I'm not gonna say too much about it, but when you say about the little girl, on our spirit box session, we actually picked up a little girl. I don't know, she probably sounded 10?
Yeah, about.
And I don't even know if I should say it because we didn't want it. We didn't put it in the video. It kind of got me a little emotional, and I couldn't believe that I heard it. I looked over to Ryan and I'm like, did we really just hear this? So basically she stated something happened to her, but she said it through the spirit box. So there may have been a young girl present there.
yeah, no, that's cool. So yeah, and so there's a lot of activity around you guys.
Yes. Absolutely. There's, like I said, there's a lot of ghost towns we haven't been to yet here. We've been to Tombstone several times. We've been to the Copper Queen, but even in Douglas. What is the hotel called? The Gadsden. That was beautiful. And we got to investigate up in the 3rd floor where the public is not allowed, and then down in the basement where they don't usually allow anybody in. And we got some pretty interesting activity on some of our, like our REM pod and our cat balls and stuff like that. We got some EVPs, but we didn't get any photos. We didn't capture anything on video or photos.
Yeah, and Linda brings up a point. Some mediums get nausea when they are too close to a spirit. So that's something to keep in mind. Is that's
Yeah. She was sitting. Yeah, Faith just brought up right now. She was sitting in the chair. What she's talking about is there's a chair next to the door that we had put a cat ball in the very beginning, and it was constantly going off. The chair wasn't moving, but the cat ball was constantly going off. And when we went back the second time, when she was feeling sick, she was sitting in that chair.
Wow.
So that's something she just brought up that I didn't even really think about.
So, question for you is something I was just thinking of. Carla and I, we investigated a military base where we had a cat ball go off 4 times in exact, like the second it finished, it started again 4 times. Have you had that happen there?
Oh, yes. Actually, Brown Canyon Ranch, I think, was the most active that we've ever seen our cat balls go off.
Right outside the door when it said out, when the spirit box said I'm outside.
Oh, that's right.
Right outside the door, the cat box.
Yeah. Brian just brought up on the spirit box, it says right outside. At that exact same moment, the cat ball that we had outside on the steps before you came to the door, it started going off.
But it did that. It went off back to back.
Yeah.
Wow.
We love using those.
I was against them at first because I thought these are just little play toys, but I've come around to where I have 4 or 5, maybe 6 of them in my kit.
We do too. We'll put them in different spots. Sometimes they won't go off in certain places, and the other places they'll just go off and not stop. The last investigation we did with a private tour was at the Friendly Flowers and More, the Pete Spence house, and they brought their music box. That was an amazing experience. The lady was asking the spirit to make the music box go faster, and you can literally watch the winding of the music box. It was the handle, and it was like if it was being forced to go faster and slower. When she asked it to slow down, it would slow down. It would almost pause and then start to slow down. It was like on command, and that was incredible.
Love when that happens.
Yeah, we do too. Faith doesn't. She doesn't like certain spirit boxes. She doesn't like, and she doesn't like the music box.
I will say, I was watching Destination Fear, and they had a music box on, and of course they picked the creepiest song to play. So it's always when it goes in dead silence in the dark, it goes off, and you are instantly like, "Oh my god!" because of the song.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We don't have one of those yet, but I'm hoping in the future that we'll get one. We have a lot of the basics, K2s, EVP recorders. We have an SLS, REM pods, cat balls, the FLIR. Am I missing anything else?
Night vision cameras, GoPros.
Yeah, GoPros, night vision cameras, all the nice, good, fun stuff. But
wow, you guys are equipped.
We're trying. But again, we do it for ourselves. One of the biggest things that I think going to the Paracon and meeting a lot of the famous ghost hunters and stuff. We met the Wrath Chasers and Andrea Perrin, and man, it's
a beautiful soul.
Amazing, beautiful soul. I mean, the words can't even express. You'd have to meet them just to be able to experience it. But our friends Jay and Marie Yates, when we had the first night, they did like a speech, and Marie had mentioned, you know what, it doesn't matter whether you have a YouTube channel, a Facebook page, we're all here for the same thing. It doesn't matter who's more famous, who isn't famous, and who's well known. It's just you're sharing your experiences with other people, and you're trying to find answers and evidence, and there's so many people out there that just don't believe any of it.
So I have a question for you, because you say you do it for yourselves and the family. Do you think that causes your experiences at locations to be different than the other paranormal investigators that are there to get evidence?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they can feel more or less what we're there for, compared to the other people, per se.
Yeah.
You know, they know we're more for finding the truth,
Right.
not just, you know,
The spirits and the energy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ryan has a point. The spirits and the energy know that we're not there for a game. We're there to actually
maybe
help them.
find answers.
Yeah, you know, send a message. Acknowledge them is the biggest thing. Acknowledging an energy or a spirit or however people want to look at it. You know, people look at it so many different ways.
Ghosts are people too.
Yeah, ghosts are people too. That's the biggest thing. A lot of times, if energy is left there, whether it's residual or whether it's intelligent, it's there for a reason and needs to be acknowledged.
Yeah. So Ghost Geeks has a question for you in the chat room. Is there a location that each of you have on your bucket list?
Yeah.
I
mean, I got a couple, but I would have to say probably we've been to the Queen Mary once, but didn't get to investigate it. Probably Getty's.
Oh, definitely.
Gettysburg.
Number one.
And Nevada State Prison.
Which one? Nevada State Prison?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go to Penhurst. Of course, I have so many. Salem, Massachusetts. I've always wanted to go to Salem. Gettysburg, of course. I probably have a bucket list that it would take me a long time to read. To be honest.
So do we.
In time, hopefully we'll be able to venture off at least to a few of them. That would be great.
Oh, yeah.
In time. We still have a lot of places here to still touch. But we live here.
Well, and I think I can speak for Carla on this one of we talk about doing road trips, and I can tell you if we do road tripping, we are definitely coming to hang out with you three at Arizona.
Definitely let us know when you guys are here. Lots to see. The cemeteries here, we've only got to a couple. No. The cemeteries here, though, we still want to go to a few, but we've kind of leaned away from the cemeteries. We used to go to them all the time, but after we did the private home investigation, I think for some reason, every time we go to a cemetery, we end up picking up the same voice that was at that private home. So we don't understand why. So we just haven't gone to any anymore. But it's only picked up when we go to a cemetery. His voice is picked up. So we usually stop and we leave.
So
that's another story.
Yeah, we're actually almost an hour and 10 minutes in. Before we close, Linda does have a question for you that I think has got an interesting twist to it. So at any of your investigations, did you have a memorable conversation with a ghost?
Oh, gosh. I would say the private one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say the private home one for sure. That was a murder-suicide situation. And yeah, I would have to say that one for sure. We even brought in a family member that was skeptic. But then when she sat in halfway through and heard the voices, she was carrying on a full conversation and getting very emotional because she wasn't understanding how it was possible to hear the voices come through and how it was actually happening. So that one is something I think both of us will agree we'll never forget.
Yeah. And Joshua Dixon, last comment I'll read, and then we'll end the show unless you guys still want to keep going. But
no, it's fine. I'm sure everybody's tired.
Yes, definitely leave if a spirit is mimicking your loved ones. And I think that's something important to point out because anything that can mimic the voice, you don't know what that is. So it's best to walk away and leave it alone.
Right. Yeah, I could agree with that. I don't think we've ever experienced that other than just, again, that private investigation, and hearing the answers and the responses of them having a conversation would probably be the only one I would ever say become close to that.
So what's next in store for Dark Valley Paranormal?
Right now, I mean, we work a lot. We're still working on our house, trying to get our house livable and getting in. And so we have not made any investigations a priority. But we're hoping, in the near future, we can kind of get back into it again. We've just kind of stepped back for just a few. Hopefully 2023 will bring in a lot more.
Yeah. It's definitely important to put family first.
Yeah, absolutely. And the passion for the paranormal is never going to go away.
Oh, yeah.
If I could do it full time, I probably would. I'd probably drive Ryan crazy with it sometimes, actually.
Well, Chad, you're going to help us leave on a high note. Ghost Geek says, just subscribe to y'all's channel.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. And thank you guys so much for the opportunity. It was fun. We really appreciate it.
And we appreciate you and your family coming on and helping us premiere our brand new show.
Awesome. 2023, here you go.
Rock on. All right. Well, thank you all for coming.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Did you want to say
Bye,
bye?
guys.
You said bye.
Bye.
See you guys later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Carla. So that was a really cool way to end our premiere show. What do you think? I think you got muted. I can't hear you, Carla. Did you turn your mute on? Well, while we try and figure that out, let me double check because I don't want to misquote, but I believe our next show is a paranormal investigator from Jefferson area. Yep. It's from Jefferson, and that would be Greg Stevens. So tune in next week as we... Wait, no? Am I... What do you mean, no? All right, so check out next week. We'll see who our guest is. And have a great night, everyone. And unfortunately, Carla's mic is not working right now, so she's trying to correct me, and I can't hear a word she's saying. So, gotta love live shows. Thank you for everyone in the chat room for your great questions and interacting with us. So, from all of us to all of you, happy hunting. And you're right, Chad. He's not from Jefferson. He investigates a lot there. That's why I mentioned that. I did misquote. So, my bad on that. But good night, happy hunting, and safe journey, everyone.